Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ryan of Degenerate Passive Income coming today this evening, February 12th, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here like we are every week. Tonight is very special because we are talking about LSteak. This is a live AMA. If you have questions, please ask questions. Tonight is very important that you listen because we have 3 days until pre-launch closes, okay? When that's over, there's no more deposits until the first week of March, ladies and gentlemen. This thing goes going to the auditors this weekend, and they need a hard number to bring that after Sunday night. There's no deposits. They on Sunday night at midnight my time. There's no more deposits after that. That's it. You have to wait until launch. So if you want the pre-launch, what you get all the good stuff with the pre-launch: 2.5% rebate. You get 20% in tokens. We're going to go over all that tonight. So please ask questions if you have them. It's very important. We want people to know. There's been $5,000 was deposited last night. We had another 500 today. So people are waiting until last minute, which is fine, guys. Okay, you've got 3 days, but we just want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to get in. I'm bullish on it because it's using Bernard bonds. At minimum of 80% of anything deposited is going right into buy Bernard bonds, and we're using the yield from that plus the backing as a hedge from gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. We all know that's at an all-time low right now. It's crazy. $1,900 ETH, $65,000 Bitcoin, 66,000. Markets in the tank. But you know what? I think March, April is going to be big. I think we're launching at the right time. And Grover is going to explain why that is and why we can sustain these bear markets. So Grover is with us. Please ask questions. He is on audio only. He's got a massive storm. So we don't want what happened last week. The video was cutting out and we lost. We just had a mess. So he's not on video. But if you watch any other AMAs, he's doxxed. Everybody knows him. Thank you for joining, Grover. And tell me, why is this a good time to even start a protocol right now? Because it doesn't really make sense to me.
If I would agree with you in regards to not starting a protocol in this environment if it was your standard protocol. Most protocols they build for the good times. They build and everything's all good when everything's pumping. Right? LSteak has been designed from the ground up for the bad times, for the choppy times, for the volatility. It uses all of these things to build the foundations, to keep on building it. And it's basically we're launching into the exact type of environment that's LSteak's designed to build and perform at its best in. All right. It's also giving us asymmetric upside. I mean, like we've got the market is at all-time lows, and it is really shitty. Excuse the language, but it is really shitty. But that also means that's there's more chance of it going up than it is going further down. All right, just probability-wise, it's more likely to go up than it is to go down. And so, getting in now, buying the bonds now, the price of bonds are more likely to be heading up. APR is most likely going to stay stable around about here or even get better. Gold, we've got Bitcoin's likely to go up, Ethereum's likely to go up. So all of the hedges are going to likely to go up. So we're going to be able to capture maximum upside after launch, which is brilliant. Which is a brilliant place for LSteak to be, because it's launching into the environment that it's designed for. We can prove exactly that it's going to do what it's designed for right from day dot. We can capture the upside, and we can just go from here. LSteak, it is not going to be a huge green candles and all of that type of launch. It's not designed to be that type of project. It's designed to be the slow and steady turtle of the race. It's designed so you can put your money in. You know that it's as safe as it can be in crypto, because nothing in crypto is really safe. And from there, it just keeps on building up and gives you a better position when things turn around. If the market's crappy and it's gone down 80%, LSteak is going. Won't be down as far. So on the rebound, you're already ahead of the rest of the market to capture the upside. That's basically why starting LSteak now is actually really good for the project. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, as long as we're on you said the word, safety and security. Maybe we should start with that. So I know that most people know this already. LSteak is under the EMP umbrella, and EMP does own this wallet address that the USDC base goes to.
Yes.
What are who's building it? Are they trustworthy? Who's holding the keys to the wallets? Who is all the good stuff? Who's building the protocol? Who's holding the keys? Who's doing the audits? Things of that nature. Because I think safety is first, like we talked about.
It's definitely. I mean, like I've been in this industry like 8+ years now, so I mean, like I've had all of the crappy things happen to me, just like anyone else that's been in crypto that long, and that's why I'm fully for 100% transparency and building with good steps in place. We're building with BTT. Now we're behind build the tech, and they built Plasm. They've built FortuneFi, and I can't remember all the other ones, but they've worked with EMP on a number of projects as well. Scott, the lead developer that's developing it with me, was one of the original developers of the first Fusion.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about websites going down, 404 errors. I mean, stuff like that. That's what that's the main thing. How about the audit? Is it going to be fully audited? Are they trustworthy? Things of that nature.
Auditor, we've got auditor already lined up. There's 33. The auditor's name is 33 audits. Again, they audited FortuneFi. They audited Plasm. They're a mid-level auditing company which has gone into many auditing competitions and been able to find bugs and issues that other bigger name auditors missed. So they're a really good auditor, and offer their services at a realistic price. I mean, like the big names like Certic and so forth. Yes, they are big names and they charge a lot. But in all honesty, I've seen some of their audits, and quite often they just whack them through AI, and they go, "Oh yeah, the AI said it's fine," and things happen.
Right. Yeah. I think the same as you. I mean, Hacken and Certic, and I don't know what the other ones are called, but they charge huge money, and we've seen stuff happen to those as well. So I mean, it's not,
I mean, like a lot of the big names, I feel they've got too big for their britches. All right. They've got too big for their britches. And they just rush their audits. They whack them through AI. They don't necessarily have people going through the code line by line. 33 audits do, right? They have multiple auditors, not just one person going through the code. They have multiple coders physically going line by line. They physically try and break the system. They really do their job well, and I've seen their work before, and they really are good auditors.
Excellent.
We've also
go ahead.
Excuse me. Where else? Also, you mentioned the wallet. The wallet is held in custody by EMP. So I don't have any access to the funds there. That is a multi-sig wallet held by EMP. So the funds that go there are safe. They're multi-sig. And they're held in custody. Right. So, as everyone here knows, AJ's a trustworthy guy. The EMP team's a trustworthy team. Been in the industry for 4 years. Which, as far as DeFi is concerned, is an eternity.
Exactly.
So it's been so working under their umbrella and working with the EMP and DexFi team, because they are helping ensuring that Bernard bonds and the DEX vaults, which we will be using for liquidity, are all nicely integrated and everything runs smoothly.
Excellent. So, and maybe we should get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing. So, what? And we'll talk about LSteak as like right now, and we'll talk about percentages of where it goes. So, what is a person getting? Like, I get the question. I got it twice today. People asking about LSteak. They're like, Ryan, in the DMs, obviously. Ryan, I love bonds. I have a ton of bonds. Why don't I just buy more Bernard bonds? Why am I even messing with LSteak if they're just buying Bernard bonds? Like, is it just a white label of Bernard bonds, which is Bernard bonds is a white label of DexFi? Like, what's the situation, or how can we make more money on than Bernard bonds with LSteak, being they're just using that as a revenue stream?
Well, first of all, I'm being fully honest and transparent. I'm not guaranteeing earning more money than Bernard bonds, because it does use Bernard bonds as its yield engine. Mm-hmm. But where you're winning out, right? First of all, Bernard bonds, they're great. DexFi bonds, they're great, but they don't have a hedge, right? They don't. I mean, like when you're in DeFi, you really want to try and protect your capital. You want as many safeguards as possible. So first thing I've put in is a hedge portion. So you've got a hedge of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold. I mean, so you've got. So with that, you've got exposure to the greater market. You've got exposure to the DeFi DeFi market with Ethereum, and you've got exposure that's outside the crypto space of gold, which is a gold, as you know, it's a safe haven when all the things start looking bad. Everyone runs to gold. So that gives us a hedge portion of our backing. All right. The second thing is like we're able to utilize what I suppose you could call is a double compound system. All right. The yield, first of all, it compounds into the backing, which then compounds and earns you more yields, just like it would if you're compounding into bonds. But a portion of it also goes into the extra layer, the XLL stake. All right. So what you've got is you've got your LSteak, which represents your share, your accounting share of the backing and the Bernard bonds and the hedge, and then you stake it into the extra layer. Now that extra layer is compounding token. All right, so you're effectively getting a double whammy compound, and the extra layer is mathematically created so its redemption ratio, because it's not valued in dollar amounts. It's valued in number of tokens that you get in return when you redeem, right? And it's mathematically created so that value can never go down. It can only ever go up, right? So when you go in, you start off at launch, it'll be a 1-to-1 ratio. So you put in one LSteak, and if you redeem it, you get one in return. As the project continues, it's adding more. It's constantly making more and creating more LSteak with the yields, the yield that it's getting, and putting more backing into the extra layer token, which means that the extra layer token then starts to increase in its redemption ratio. So you started off getting one LSteak in return for one extra layer token. And it goes up. It goes up until 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, two tokens per one. So I mean, it means that you're getting more tokens in return when you decide to exit. And LSteak's designed so that you can exit, and it doesn't hurt the ecosystem. A lot of projects, they want you to stay in forever, right? Because they don't want you to hurt the ecosystem. LSteak's designed because realistically, why are you in crypto if you're not in it to make money, right? Well, I mean, like being brutally honest, you get into crypto because you want to make money, not to just say, "Oh yeah, I'm a millionaire," but I can't. I'm not allowed to touch it.
Right.
So Exiting LSteak doesn't hurt the system. In fact, it actually helps strengthen the system for everyone else if you exit.
So is it like a pump and dump mechanism, like an anti-pump and dump mechanism, or how can't it hurt it?
No pump and dump mechanism at all. In fact, the actual value of LSteak is going to float within 1 or 2% of the actual backing per token value. And the backing per token value is the actual real physical value of what you own, not the market value, the actual real physical value. That's what's the backing behind the token. And because when you exit via the market, the backing is never leaves the system, right? So it's constantly it's money that's constantly staying there, whether people are going are leaving or not. That's constantly getting bigger and earning more and more money because it's constantly compounding into the system, right? So it's designed that way so that there can't be a bank run. So you can't go into a death spiral of exit. And so that people that try and attack the system actually end up helping the system.
Okay, so how just give it a little bit of explanation of how that works. Like, say when someone sells 1,000 LSteak, how is that helping the LSteak chart?
Well, first of all, to get those LSteak token, you actually have to create the backing, right? There is LSteak's designed so it will never create backing or create tokens without there being value. No yields distributed without there being real value. No tokens are minted without 100% backing behind it. So first of all, anyone that comes into the system has to create that value, right? And then because it's not redeeming the backing, right, you're exiting via the market. Now, yes, obviously market exit, that does incur slippage. However, we're utilizing V3 LPs, and we've already, because we've got a good amount of money pre-sale, we've got a reasonable amount of liquidity from launch. Most projects that launch may have 20K of liquidity when they launch, may have a small amount of liquidity at launch. We're going to be having around about 60 to 70K of primary liquidity at launch, right? Which for a launch for a project at launch is actually very healthy. So that means that when you exit, there will be some slippage. That's how AMMs work, but it will not be significant because we're using V3 liquidity in the DEX5 vaults, which have AILM management, which keep the ranges within nice areas to maintain low slippage, low impermanent loss, and also maximize the yield that they get, which is then compounded back into the liquidity, making it so that the liquidity is constantly growing and making it so that slippage is constantly getting less. So if a person comes in, first they have to create the value, and if they wish to exit, they then exit. They may get a little bit of slippage, but they're not extracting value from the system. So that means like anyone's able to exit at any time that they want, right? At any time that they want, and someone that is trying to attack the system actually ends up hurting themselves because they've had to create the value, and then if they leave like 10, 20,000K a dump, they just incur some nasty slippage on themselves and don't get any profit out of the attack.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, because and that's part of the reason why you've always said, it could pay a little bit better than bonds, is because when you sell a bond, you get a 10% tax on it. And now
That's
with
correct.
LSteak, we're talking about just a couple 2 to 5% slippage, or what are your what's your prediction there?
Well, we're using, as I said, using V3 liquidity. We're looking at around about obviously depending on the amount that you exit with, because that's just how the market exit works. But you're looking at, for a decent 2-3K exit, you may get around about maybe 4% slippage on the amounts of that type. So you're able to exit with a good amount of funds and get less than the 10% fee that you're incurred from exiting the bonds. So first of all, when you exit, you're immediately up there. Secondly, bonds, you've got up to a 48 on a working day period where it's waiting to clear, right? And that means, and 48 hours can be quite a long time in the market, right? If you want to, you've gone, great, bonds are up, and you exit, you may have to wait 48 hours, and Ethereum can dump a hell of a lot, and the market can change a lot in 48 hours, and you could then, by the time you exit, not be in such a good condition because you get it in Ethereum when you exit. All right. So, secondly, you're benefiting from being able to exit instantly at any time. Right. So if the market's up, the prices are up, you go, sweet, I'm going to take it out. You get your Ethereum, and you can then use that however you need and take advantage of market conditions when the conditions are available. Now, the other benefit of doing it this way is we're effectively fractionalizing bonds. All right. With bonds, you can only ever exit in single bonds at a time, which is great. Bonds are not designed to be a trading system. They're designed to be a case of you buy the bonds, you earn the yield, and the yields and you just basically leave the bonds. But let's be real. Things happen in real life, and people need money, right? But you may not need the whole value of a bond. Let's say our bonds were gone back up to its launch price of $250 a bond, right? And you may only need $100, but you still have to exit that full amount, and that means you're losing $150 worth of yield by doing so, right? In this way, you can just exit with $100 and still have that $150 worth in there, earning you money. You're not having to exit all of your position and lose yield bearing capital. You're only removing the amount of capital you need, and able to leave the remainder in there, earning you yield.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because obviously the 10% on the bonds, guys, when you exit, that 10% doesn't go to the team; it stays in the protocol, rewarding the OG investors. But this, like Grover said, you take as much as you need, and the rest can still stay earning. Maybe you only needed $150 out of the 250, and that's the part of the bond. That's just how it's built. This, you take what you need, and that's what you're going to get with anywhere, whatever slippage.
You get what you exit with, minus some slippage. It is not going to be massive slippage. It's not going to be 10%. It's not going to be 10%.
Right.
You exit with what you need, and you leave what you don't need in there, earning you yield. You see, and that can be so powerful. I mean, like you may need to exit with a large amount, but to do so, you may need to sell a large amount of bonds and lose a lot of earning power.
Right.
This way, you can just take what you need and still be earning on the remainder.
Yeah, and maybe we should take a couple of these questions. PC Dave, thank you for joining. LSteak, do they have any relationship with DexFi administration-wise?
Administration-wise, DexFi isn't involved in administrative. LSteak, while it's being developed under the EMP umbrella, and AJ does have one of the multi-sig keys, administrative-wise, it realistically is a separate protocol. So AJ is a team member, a team member, and does have a multi sig in the administrative sides of things. But ultimately, LSteak is a separate and is a separate protocol just under the EMP umbrella.
Right. And then he also asks, 60 to 70K liquidity at the beginning. Where did that come? Where is that coming from?
Right. That's coming because with the pre-sale is for bootstrap liquidity. We were very lucky to be able to get an angel investor, which gave us the money to start off with, to be able to get development to happen. So the primary thing that we needed is liquidity to ensure that the system is stable, right? And that's done that way because 80% of the actual funds raised goes towards bootstrap liquidity. Now that means that everyone that's gone into the pre-launch, they actually that's part of their ownership, and they're earning the yield on that. So all of the volume that's going around internally, and there will be a considerable amount of internal volume done by the system. Pre-launch investors are getting the fees from that, and they're able to claim that on a regular basis.
Right. So the liquidity. So maybe what he's wondering too is, say we have 100,000 even on launch day. If I'm correct, that's going to immediately buy on launch. It's going to go buy $80,000 minimum of Bernard bonds. Correct?
Not quite, because
Okay.
obviously with liquidity you have to have both sides of the pair. Right?
Okay.
So you've got your primary pair, which is your LSteak Ethereum, right? And you've got your secondary pair, which is LSteak XLSteak, which is it's primarily there for price discovery, so that you can see what the redemption ratio is on the DEX screener and that type of thing. So for ease of price discovery of XLSteak. So the majority of the liquidity, bootstrap liquidity, is held in the primary core liquidity pair, which is an Ethereum LSteak pair. Right. So at launch, obviously for that primary pair, half of that liquidity has to buy Ethereum. The remainder will be buying LSteak. And LSteak, and also some will also be going towards creating XLSteak. So that liquidity is buying the Ethereum portion, the LSteak portion, and the XLSteak portion. So I'll have to do some exact numbers, but you'll be looking at around about 50K ish of bonds that it will be buying at launch. Maybe, but haven't got the exact numbers for that at the moment, because I don't have the exact numbers for what we're launching with.
Okay, so you could say, like, if we had 100,000, half would go to be buying bonds to start earning us yield immediately.
Actually, probably be a bit more than half. It'll probably be around about 2/3 will be going towards buying bonds at launch.
Okay, so if it was 100,000 at launch, then you're looking at between 60 and 70.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And the rest is going, like you said, to the XLSteak, the pairs and everything else.
Yes.
Perfect. And then he says, whoever provided the liquidity entered at pre-sale, they might have an advantage compared to others who will join after the launch. Well, I mean, that's why we're here, Dave. And maybe we should talk about that now.
Short answer is yes.
Yes.
Short answer, yes. Pre-launch pre-launch investors, they're the only ones that are getting the fees from the internal from all of those internal transactions, right? that's one of the major benefits of being able to get in at pre-launch is you're able to be one of the ones that are earning the fees from from those transactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
exactly.
not only are you getting your LSteak exposure and so forth, on top of that, you're also getting your fees, the fees from the liquidity provision.
Right. And a rebate, obviously, 2.5% rebate.
2.5% rebates, and you're also getting a portion of it, a portion of your investment as direct LSteak.
Right. So there is an advantage to get into the pre-sale, is what is pretty
Most
much what it
definitely
comes
is.
down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and maybe we need to talk about that a little bit too. If there is a person, because there is room for like one $10,000 investor still, I believe.
Probably one $10,000 investor left, because we were cutting that off at 100. If you're interested in investing more than that, and you can contact me directly, and we can have a little bit of a chat. And I'm not averse to being able to go, oh, well, yeah, sure, not a problem. But
Right.
that is something that would have to be negotiated one-on-one.
Exactly. Okay. So yeah, there's still room for a larger investor, guys. But like I said, all of this ends Sunday night, midnight my time, guys. That is the cutoff. So that's pretty much 3 days and a few hours. So just pay attention to that. And all the information, all the links are in the description with the wallet address. It's USDC base, $500 minimum. Okay, that's what it is. And I wanted to touch on something else. What was it? We touched on the backing, and then we touched on why the whole the bond thing. What do you see? Oh, we need to talk about partners for liquid staking as a service.
Yes, liquid staking as a service. Right. After we're going really well with how we are in heading towards launch. As I said, I mean, end of the week, once I've got the final numbers of pre-launch raise, we'll be then sending that off to the auditors. Auditors generally take around about 2 weeks, which then aligns us for a first week of March launch. We're already starting the development phase of liquid staking as a service, or LSAS. Now, this really is a first of its kind thing, right? And I say that because for any project to have liquid staking, they've either got to develop it themselves, or the liquid staking system has to have some type of emissions, has to have some type of unsustainable yield, or if it does use a sustainable yield method, it's either has low yield, such as nodes that ones like liquid staking Ethereum have. The ones that have sustainable yield generally use Ethereum nodes, which maybe get you 5 to 10% yield if you're lucky. So what it does is it enables any project to be able to use a similar to be able to use the same type of system. Now, each LSAS system is completely siloed, right? And it's done this way so that any project isn't utilizing LSteak funds. It isn't. If a project was to collapse or to leave, they can't extract value from LSteak in any way. All right. And the other benefit is for a project to be able to do staking this manner, they've either got to sell their tokens to be able to create to be able to buy the bonds, or they've got to ask their users to add fresh funds. Right. The reason that LSAS is a first of its kind is I've developed a method of what I call a value transfer loop, right, and an escrow system. Right. This enables the value that the token has through buying and selling and then rebuying, right, to be able to buy the bonds, create to create the yield engine, and then to ensure that neither their token or LSteak are dumped. It uses guardrails to prevent the dumping more than 2 to 3% of the token price, and any remainder that it is unable to transfer the value. It then uses an escrow system to do that over a period of time. So it does throttle how fast you can stake into the system, but as everything grows, the speed which you can actually stake into the system increases. This way, a project can have their own instance use case of staking, which is very powerful for any token, whether it be a meme coin or something along the lines of Plasm and eShare, which are going to be the two first projects. It automatically gives them a use case. The second thing it does is because the yield from their yield engine is constantly buying their token to increase the redemption ratio, it's constantly putting buy pressure on their token. So they've now got a system that not only gives them an additional use case, it also puts constant buy pressure on their token, causing the price of their token to go up. And thirdly, while these tokens are staked, they're taken out of circulating supply. So it's effectively removing circulating supply while they're staked. All of these things are really powerful ways of being able to improve any project's tokenomics and economy. And the beautiful thing is they are completely siloed. So no matter how many projects get on board, one project can't affect any other project or LSteak or extract value from any other project or LSteak. So a project can completely that onboards, heaven forbid they do, but they could completely collapse, and it doesn't affect anyone else. It only affects that project.
Okay. So that kind of answers Pulse's question. How do Plasm and eShare staking actually make money and multiply?
Yes, it does. It's as I said. I mean, like basically, what you do is you take your Plasm, you stake it into LSAS, and in return you get XL Plasm, right? And that has a redemption ratio just like XL LSteak does, which is mathematically designed to constantly go up. So you go in with 100 Plasm, and over time the redemption ratio goes to, let's say it goes to 2, and you decide to take it out then, right? So you've got entered with 100 Plasm. You then exit when it's at a 2 times redemption ratio, and then you exit with 200 Plasm.
Right. Okay, so let's just cover a quick scenario. I've got a massive stake in Plasm coming up March 3rd. Say this thing is launched, right around there or wherever. I know it won't be ready because we're looking at the end of March or whatever before we can start, staking Plasm or whatever. But say it was good. If I had 100,000 Plasm and I didn't want to go in with fresh ETH, and I was like, and I didn't want to lose 60% of my Plasm to go into easy mode, sell 60% of my Plasm to restake for 77 days. What happens with that $100,000 worth of Plasm if I go and put it into if I go and put it into the LSAS? Like where does that go?
First of all, what happens is you take those and you basically you press you take it and you put in however many it is and you press stake, right? It then the value transfer system then transfers as much value of that can immediately into the bonds to start earning money. Right? Okay. Any excess that it can't transfer, it then puts that aside and says, okay, I'm going to transfer that value over time as we are able to. It's still staked. It's still counted as tokens that are staked, and all of those tokens are then staked into the XL Plasm contract, and you get the appropriate amount of XL Plasm tokens in return. So, let's say you've got 100,000 Plasm that's gone in. 10,000 of that was immediately transferred into value, into yield value. The remainder's waiting in there to be transferred, and you're given 100,000 XL Plasm in return. Over time, the redemption ratio increases. Let's say it increases to 2. It's to 2 times. It's an easy method, easy number to do mathematically. You can then exit at any time. You're not locked in, right? And you can then exit and get 200,000 Plasm in return. Okay.
So you'll get Plasm. It's Plasm in, Plasm out.
Plasm in, Plasm out. Because of there will be a small amount of slippage, and we're talking like 0.5%, 1% tops type thing. There will be a small amount of slippage to enter, but that's because it has to use market methods to be able to do it.
Right, because when that say that $100,000 with the Plasm, you go in with it, you press stake. So you're talking like approximately what percentage of that is going to go to buy the yield generating bond? What percentage would it
be? In all honesty, I can't say it's going to be X percent. Simply because it's there are too many variables for me able to go. It's going to be 100%. It's going to be 50%. It's going to be 20%. But it's going to be let's say around about 10% of that will immediately then be transferred, and then over the next however many days, it will be the remainder of it will be transferred into bonds.
Okay, so it's not one big shot.
It's not one big shot, and that I wish it could be, and I really did try to figure out a way that it could be, but unfortunately, you can't make money out of thin air.
right, exactly.
If you could, I'd be able to, but unfortunately, the money, the value has to come from somewhere, and the only way to do that without dumping someone's token is over a period of time.
Right. And by withdrawing that Plasm that you're saying you're getting say you get a double on it for easy math, whatever. You get a double on it. You had 100. Now I can I say it's 6 months later, I have 200 or whatever amount of time. That's not hurting the price of LSteak token or anything at all. It does nothing to the protocol, correct?
It's literally, all those tokens are always there in the background. They're not. They don't touch LSteak in any form. Right?
Okay.
LSteak is not utilized. The value. There is no cross pollination of actual funds between LSteak and the silo. It is completely siloed, so that you put your Plasm in there, it's in that silo. It's never touches LSteak or anything along those lines, right? So it's constantly in there, and the Plasm are actually in that silo, right? So they physically exist there. So when you go to exit, there's nothing that's magically made. It's literally a case of, okay, for every one XL Plasm you get 2. Okay, we withdraw those Plasm out of the contract and give them to you, and then burn off the XL Plasm.
Right. And yeah, like you said, we're starting with Plasm. Down the road a little ways, eShare has has there been other protocols reaching out to you at all, Grover, saying, hey, you know what, once you're launched, we should maybe take a look at
protocols. I've had a few a few protocol founders express that it's something they may be interested in the future. I don't want to go and I don't want to go mentioning names in case they don't, but they are protocols are established. They're people that have been around well, since way back since the Tomb Fork days.
Right. Okay. So
It is
yeah, that
definitely something. There has been a lot of interest in getting in, and people actively coming to me, which means it's certainly somewhere which we can rapidly horizontally expand. And the beauty of that is, because of how it works, is each partner that onboards has to increase the primary liquidity of LSteak ETH, and each partner that onboards makes it so that the how fast staking into LSteak happens increases. So the more people that onboard, the more efficiently it works, and the better LSteak gets.
right. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. What else was I going to
Sorry
say?
if you hear my kids in the background. I do apologize.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So what, like, say the market, say we launch first week of March, and the market goes absolutely, insane. April, May, June. Say we get this, crazy bull run with the price of ETH going up, with the price of everything going up. What does that do for the LSteak protocol? Like, does the LSteak token have anything to do with the price of ETH?
It's LSteak. It does, because the underlying assets of bonds are predominantly ETH pairs, right? So the price of the bonds, which does have effect on the backing price, the backing value of LSteak, obviously will go up. Also, the primary pair is with Ethereum, right? This is designed this way so that we have some decoupling away from the US dollar. We're coupled with Ethereum, which means that the US dollar can go up and down, and our liquidity doesn't go up and down. The actual relative depth of the liquidity doesn't go up and down with it. Its price will, but the actual depth of the liquidity stays the same, because we control 95% of the liquidity.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, the way you're explaining these things, it seems like to me that this is just something you're going to park some USDC in there and be like, you know what, I'm going to come back in a month and look at it, or 2 months or 3 months, and just see how it's doing. It sounds kind of boring, like, to be honest.
Exactly what it is going to be. And in all honesty, if you're after pump, if you're after massive green candles, if you're after dopamine hits, maybe this isn't for you.
Right.
I mean, because I designed, when I started designing this, right, I got to the point where I was fed up with all of these projects that are designed to pump, have these massive 100 times and all of this, and then the market crashes and you're screwed.
Right.
So I went from instead of designing something that's going to perform in the good times, I designed something that's going to perform in the shitty times. Excuse the language, but that's being honest.
Yeah.
I went and gone, well, there are more bad times in crypto than there are good. The good times everyone loves and everyone wants to do. There's FOMO flying around and everyone's talking about the next big 100 times and all of that. But the reality of the matter is there are more choppy times, there are more sideways times, there are more down times than there are bull times. Now, LSteak, I'm being 100% transparent and honest to you. It is when things are really pumping hard, it's not going to pump as hard, right? It's designed over the entire cycle to perform better, because there's never a cycle where it's all up, right? It's never and always, even in your bulls, it's even in hard bulls, it's never an all up, an up cycle. This is designed to be able to follow, to be able to follow with the bull, and then when it turns to choppy and down and everything like that, it starts really compounding and building the base and taking advantage of those bad periods to build and make it stronger and so forth. So over the entire cycle, you end up better off.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And this is what I do with my bonds. I come usually about once every 2-3 weeks, and I claim and I swap it over to ETH, and I compound. I'm not telling you guys to compound or telling you what to do, because none of it's financial advice, but this is what I do. I like boring things. I dabbled in trading crypto, and I got absolutely destroyed. I went through all the 2021 ROI dApps that were given 1% a day, 10%. You know what I mean? I tried to, hit the huge green candles on mem coins. I got wrecked on that. And it's just, with institutional money coming in, guys, and retail investors coming into crypto, those the 100x, 1000x things, you have a better chance of, I don't know what, but those times are gone. It's and especially for a team who isn't who's doxxed and the wallets are doxxed, and that's another thing we should talk about right away. You know how anal I am about being doxxed. Is there going to be one of these little magic buttons right here?
There certainly is. There certainly is. Any contract that holds funds will have a link to DBank, so you can see what's happening. All right. Contracts that are just functional contracts, they will be listed, and if you wish to actually have a look at the code and all, then go for it. I'm 100% transparent.
So we'll be able to see how much ETH is in there, how much USDC. How about will we be able to see something like if a plasm amount, like if there's a, you know what I mean?
That's all right. You dropped out for a second.
Oh, will we be able to see say I did stake that 100,000 plasm? Would we be able to see that somewhere on DBank?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All contracts that hold funds will be able to see where it is held.
Okay, so it'd be just like this right here. We've got so much in ETH on base, so much AVAX, whatever.
Yep, 100%.
Perfect.
As I said, I mean, I'm personally, again, that's one thing that I got fed up with. 8 years in crypto, I've been affected just as much as you have, I'm sure.
Right.
I want to see what's happening behind the scenes. I don't want black box stuff, so that's why I've gone, well, when I started designing this, I've gone, well, what do I want in a project? Right? I want a project that has guardrails that help prevent capital loss. So what did I do? I put guardrails and hedges in that help prevent capital loss. Obviously, you can't guarantee not losing capital, but you can have things in place that reduce the chance and help reduce the severity of it when it does happen.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
I wanted a project that builds and is designed for the crappy times, for the times when performance isn't good, right? And uses those types of things. Volatility. A lot of people don't like volatility, but it's a great way to be able to utilize that volatility and use it.
Oh, we lost you there, Grover. Let's see. Is he back?
Probably me.
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Gotta love the bad weather.
Yeah.
We use things like volatility and opportunistic arbitration areas, so that the mechanics, and it is hard coded mechanics, not me sitting there doing anything. It's hard coded mechanics, right? Is behind the scenes doing all of those things that investors really should be doing in those times, to be able to build the system and make it more robust as time goes by. It is going to be a boring system. I'm not denying that. It's going to be a case of you put your money in, come back after a period of time, and it's worth more, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's that's the things I'm looking for. I mean, because I don't want to have to go somewhere and claim every day and compound and do whatever. I just want to go somewhere. Maybe I'll check this week. Not a big deal, but you know, as far as staying engaged, obviously, guys, there's a Telegram group. That link is in the description. Join it now, even if you're, just to ask questions or just to keep an eye on things. There'll be updates in there, and you'll be able to.
Yep.
We should talk about the dashboard real quick, Grover. Am I going to be able to buy LSteak on the dashboard? Am I going to be able to swap rid of the dashboard? Do I need to go anywhere else to do anything? Because I like a one-stop shop.
Dashboard is going to be a one-stop shop, right? First of all, buying LSteak, we've incorporated a specific routing engine so that you are always going to get mint or better by entering. Unlike when you buy off a DEX, where if you made a huge buy, your slippage, the price impact, you might actually get less than what the mint price would be. We've got a routing system that enables it to take advantage of discounts, and then before it goes into premium, it switches over to mint, so you're not then getting hit with price impact, and you actually end up with more than what you would get if you went and purchased off the DEX. For selling, there will also be an area where you can go in and you can go, okay, I've got so many that I want to sell, I want to redeem, and just do it on the app. Make it easy, but easy for everyone to enter and exit. Because in all honesty, we encourage people to take advantage of prices and to do arb if there's arb opportunities, if there's discount, take advantage of it. And we made it so that you're actually going to be able to take advantages and get that advantage rather than have to go, oh, well, I have to only buy this amount, otherwise then slippage hits me and so forth. It does it for you.
Right. Okay. So one-stop shop will be able to do everything right on the dashboard.
Also, there will be metrics for those. It's not going to be massive metrics right in your face to reduce information overload, but metrics are available for those that wish to have a look at it.
Right. So we'll be able to see because it will be holding the LSteak in our wallets. The dashboard will say how much we own and what it's worth and things of that nature.
Yep. The LSteak will be able to be seen in your wallet.
Oh, we lost them again. There you are.
There I am. Sorry about that. It is really raining fairly hard here. I mean, like the joys of living in the bush in the subtropics.
Right.
But
okay, yeah.
Designed again from the ground up to be 100% transparent. Trust is earned, but I mean, like, in order to earn that trust, you have to be willing to be able to go, well, here, everything is warts and all.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what's important to me. I mean, the team needs to be doxed now. I mean, this is what you guys need to demand. You guys need to realize that nobody else. I mean, this is under the EMP umbrella, guys. Nobody else is doxed. Nobody else holds weekly AMAs. We're going to continue to talk about LSteak every week, guys, and AMAs, even after it's launched, okay? The owner is going to be front and center in your face once a week, and you can ask him questions. And in the Telegram group, you can ask him anytime. So I encourage you to do that. Get in the Telegram, get involved, and just at least get some knowledge about it. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Like Grover said.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm here to answer questions. I'm not afraid to be. I'm not afraid for you guys to ask me the hard questions. I mean, like, go for it. If you wish to DM me and have one-on-one talks, go for it. I'm not afraid to be there and tell the truth. Tell it how it is.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the way it should be. And people appreciate that. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Grover, besides the people have a little over 3 days to deposit their minimum 500 USDC base to that address on the website?
I mean, like, that's obviously the first thing that I would like to reiterate. But I mean, like, the other things that you have to remember is LSteak has no emissions, has no ponzonomics. It's designed so that even if no one invests after launch, it will work and just continue to increase and build. It's designed to be able to perform through the things that normally kill projects.
Yeah, no emissions, no Ponzi-nomics, no referral
No
links.
emissions, no Ponzi-nomics. It doesn't require people to be constantly entering. It doesn't require all of those things that 95% of projects do to be able to survive. Is designed for people to be able to go, well, I'm going to put X amount in and leave it. You don't need to bring all your friends in. You don't need to expect massive inflows of funds, because it's designed to just work.
Right. And yeah, and that's it, guys. I mean, we're launching in probably 2 to 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
3 weeks now, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's coming around. We've been talking this for about, I think we've been talking about it for 2 months now, and the time is near. And like Grover said earlier in the video, it can't get much better with bonds at all-time low and bonds printing 128% APR. I mean, we'll take advantage of these cheap bonds and we'll ride the bull all the way up. And it's going to be it's going to be interesting time.
Unlike a lot of projects which require to be launching in a bull, which in all honesty, you could launch the shittiest project and still survive in a bull. We've designed this for the poor times. This is perfect.
Oh, we lost you. There we go.
And because everything is down at the low, it's asymmetric upside, right? So we're getting the bonds at the low prices, we're getting the hedge at the lower prices, we're getting in when APR of bonds are going to be increasing, because as things turn around, APY is really good at bonds at the moment, but as things turn around, they'll get even better because volume will. And the yield is real yield. It's not some fancy invisible yield that's made with magic. It's yield from volume, right? And that's the beauty of it. I mean, like, volume doesn't go away in any market, right? Even in the crappiest of bear markets, the volume's still there. It's just all sell volume.
Right. Yeah, and I'm excited about it, guys. Oh, we have a question? How do liquidity fees get paid to you in LSteak?
Yes, liquidity gets paid to you in LSteak. What you will receive is how we're doing it is you will there will be 100 tokens minted. There will be no more, no less. Each token represents 1% share. They are able to be fractionalized. So if you had 0.1 of a share, then you'll get 0.1 of a token. Those tokens, you then you will stake those into the pre-launch staking area, and you will be and that's just like any other type of stake. You go in and you claim your you claim your fees in LSteak. Right. The other good thing about that we've done by doing this method is because you're getting a token that represents your share of that liquidity. It's actually a transferable token. So if although there is a period where you can't redeem the actual liquidity behind it until 3 months is gone, and then it's released slowly, so we don't have a liquidity crunch. During that period of time, if you wish to do a PVP transfer to someone or buy someone else's share, you can. Obviously, there is risk involved with that, but you can transfer your ownership of that liquidity to other people without affecting the actual liquidity. We are also going to be having, around about the same time as that releases, a marketplace. So what you will be able to do is you'll be able to list your share token of that liquidity on the marketplace for a value that you determine to be worth, and so you can exit quicker than the actual system will allow you, without affecting in any negative way the LSteak system, because all you're doing is you're transferring your ownership of it.
Okay, perfect. I believe that is it. Grover, unless you could think of something else.
Not really. I mean, like, the only thing I can say is time really is running out. I know there are people that love waiting to the last minute before they invest. It's really getting to the last minute.
Right.
So,
yeah. 3 days, guys. You have 3 days and like 4 hours. So after that, don't bother. It's USDC on base to this address. The website is the first link in the description. Join the Telegram group, please, and ask questions if you need to.
I will also say, after you have made a deposit, DM me with your transaction hash so that I can confirm the receipt of it, because I really love double making sure that everything's paper trail. So if you DM me with the transaction hash, although it is on chain, you never know, something might happen. I like to make sure that I've given you receipts of that transaction, so that we're double backed up.
Exactly. So that's the information, guys. Like I said, 3 days, 3 hours about till 4 hours till it shuts off. It's USDC base to this address right here. Copy and paste it. Send to that address, and it's a $500 minimum. Then you DM Grover with the TX ID, and so he has a paper copy. Obviously, it'll be on chain as well. And you're in. And then we wait till launch first week of March. And then it's off to the races. So you guys have the info. And remember, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be back next week again for another AMA. We'll have some hard numbers then of what the total raise was. Obviously, it'll be on this site as well, guys. Okay. But we'll have more information as the AMAs go. And hopefully 3-4 AMAs from now, we will hopefully we can launch it live, or however it's going to work, so we'll
yes, we may be able to do a live launch.
Yeah. Oh, so
that being said, it's not going to be a green candles and fireworks. It's the system's designed not to be a pump and dump pricing. It's and even if we had $1 million deposited on day one, it's still not going to have a massive, huge green candle. It will just mean that you'll have $100 million worth of backing earning yield.
Right, exactly. And Paul Stabater has a good question. I'm assuming it will be okay. I've already invested the minimum of 500. Can I add an extra $200? I'm sure he can, right?
Once you've added the minimum, you can then add in any amount. It's just the minimum 500. If you've only got $50, if you've only got $10, if you've got $10,000 after that, it doesn't matter. Once you've done the minimum, you can then add in any amount.
Yeah. So go ahead, Paul Stabater, go get your $200 before midnight on Sunday, and you'll be in. I'm in, guys. I'm in. So I'm all set for it. I'm excited about it. It's just another tool in my toolbox of protocols that are under the EMP umbrella that are making me passive income every month, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So with that said, 500 USDC base minimum to this address, guys. If you make a deposit, send the TX ID to Grover in the DMs on Telegram so he has a paper copy. And we will see you next week on another AMA. We'll have some final numbers. We'll go over it again because we're going to keep talking about it because I'm excited about it. And I think that's about it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Thursday evening, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.